Hello everyone. So today's topic of discussion is COVID-19 vaccine and their role in current ongoing pandemic. There are a range of questions asked about the safety of these vaccines, whether they are safe to take or not, and what is the role of these vaccine in the current scenario of emerging new strains, whether these vaccines are effective against those strains or not, and whether these vaccines are able to prevent the spread of the infection as well, and most importantly which one is superior to which. And the interchangeability, there are concerns regarding the interchangeability of vaccine, like for you take first dose of one vaccine and can we take the second dose of vaccine, and their safety in pregnancy or lactating mothers. So we will try to answer all these questions at the end of this presentation. And to begin with, I will start with the structure of the coronavirus. So the coronavirus, SARS-CoV virus, is a oily spherical particle containing a single-stranded positive sense RNA of molecular weight of around 30 kilobases, wrapped and coiled by nucleocapsid protein. So this is the genetic material RNA, single-strand positive sense RNA, that is being wrapped and coiled by nucleocapsid protein. And these are the envelope protein, smallest of all. This is the membranous protein. It is most abundant of all proteins, and it is responsible for the shape of coronavirus. And the protein of our interest, that is spike protein. It is basically a trimeric structure. So overall we can view this of and oily envelope plus three major structural proteins. Containing the genetic material in form of single-stranded RNA. These three S, M, and E. So we will further try to elaborate the structure of spike proteins. The spike proteins are heavy glycosylated transmembrane proteins, and they are typically responsible for crown-like appearance of the virus. And the active domain of S protein, it consists of two terminals, that is N terminal and C terminal. N terminal is being called S1 subunit, that contains a receptor binding protein responsible for recognizing and binding to the host cell receptor. And the other S2 subunit, that is C terminal, it is responsible for virus cell membrane fusion. So why we are targeting S protein? Why this S protein is so important for us? It is because this S protein constitutes the spikes of the coronavirus, and these spikes are responsible for entry of coronavirus into the human host cell via ACE2 receptors. So our target of interest is these spike proteins, because we want to make vaccines that act against these S proteins and block the entry of these coronavirus into our human host cells. So now we will discuss the vaccines using the mRNA technology, which are Moderna and Pfizer of BioNTech vaccines, and their mechanism of action. What happens in these vaccines? We take the genetic material mRNA from the COVID virus, and we layer it with the lipid globules. These are the tiny fat globules which carry the vaccines to the cells. What happens when we give the vaccines? These tiny fat globules, they merge with the cells and they release the genetic material mRNA into the cytoplasm of the cell. As these mRNAs are the transient carriers of the information, transient carrier of the genetic information, they decode this information to the ribosomes, and the ribosome, which are the protein forming machinery, forms the proteins, and the proteins formed here are generally S proteins, proteins resembling the S antigen of the COVID virus, which helps in docking of virus to the cells. So this S proteins typically elicit an immune response in the form of plasma antibodies, as well as the activation of the cytotoxic T cells. So what happens? These proteins, they act on the MSC2 class molecules, and the MSC2 molecules, and they stimulate the T helper cells along with CD4, and the tremendous release of cytokines, that is IL-246, is being released into the bloodstream. And these cytokine molecules, they stimulate the B cells, which further stimulate and proliferate the plasma cells to form the antibodies that is required, that is part of the required or desired immune response. These antibodies are formed, and antibodies kill the virus infected cells. On the other hand, the MSC1 class 1 molecules, which is present in all nucleated cells, these along with CD8 and T cytotoxic cells, here also release of inflammatory cytokines take place that cause the direct destruction of the viral infected cells. So in this way, both antibodies and cytotoxic cells, they are activated. The antibodies, when we give the first dose of these vaccine, basically when we give the low dose or the first dose of the vaccines, the immune response elicited is transient, basically in the form of IgM antibodies. But when we give the second dose, this immune response is converted into intensified, and IgG antibodies are being formed that makes the immune response pretty long lived and effective. And the T cytotoxic cells, they form the T memory cells, which which basically helps in our body in recognizing the infection that it has been occurred previously also. Pfizer vaccine in detail. The strain of vaccine in it is BNT162b2. The generic name is Tozana Marin, and the brand name is Comirnaty. It can be given to individuals of age 16 and above. 6.3 ml 3 weeks apart are given IM intramuscularly, and this vaccine is usually stored at minus 60 to 80 degrees Celsius, and it is in frozen form. And once it is thawed at room temperature or at 2 to 8 degrees Celsius, then it becomes available to use. And it should be used once it is diluted. It should be used within 6 hours, and refreezing is not allowed. The efficacy of this vaccine is around 95%. So what we did in the studies of Pfizer BioNTech vaccine, first dose of the vaccine is given at 0 day, and the second dose is given at 21 days. And the response, that is the response of the primary end point, is observed 7 days later. And the end outcome is whether the patient developed symptoms or not. So here what we did in the trials, around 43,000 participants were there, and they were divided into two groups. One was placebo group and one was the vaccine group. In the placebo group, we have seen around 162 cases, while in the vaccine group there were only 8 cases. Out of these 162 cases, only 9 developed severe disease. And in the vaccine group, only one participant developed severe disease. So in this way we calculated the efficacy. The efficacy was found to be around 95% in prevention of mild to moderate disease, while the efficacy in the prevention of severe disease is found to be around 87.5%. Now we will discuss about the Moderna vaccine. Moderna vaccine, the strain is mRNA-1273. It is developed by NIAID, that is National Institute of Allergic and Infectious Disease, in cooperation with BARDA, Biomedical Advanced Research Developmental Authority. It is a nucleoside modified mRNA compound, mRNA-1273, that encode a perfusion stabilized S protein naturally present on the surface of SARS-CoV-2 particles. The drug delivery system here is pegylated lipid nanoparticle system, same as of Pfizer. Two doses of 0.5 ml each are given 4 weeks apart intramuscularly. The storage temperature for this vaccine is minus 40 degrees Celsius. At minus 40 degrees Celsius, it can be stored up to 4 months. But while the storage temperature is normally 2 to 8 degrees Celsius. The efficacy of this vaccine is found to be around 94.5%. So what we did in the studies of Moderna vaccines, what they did is first dose is given at 0 day and the second dose is given at 28 days, and 14 days after the second dose we observe the participants for any symptoms developed. Here total 30,000 participants participated in the trial. So one was placebo group and one was vaccine group. So in the placebo group around 185 patients tested positive, while in the vaccine group only 11 people tested positive. And out of these 185 patients who tested positive, around 30 cases developed severe symptoms. While in the vaccine group, out of the 11 participants who were tested positive, nobody developed severe symptoms. So here the Moderna vaccine, we calculated it has 100% efficacy against prevention of severe disease. While the efficacy in prevention of mild to moderate disease was found to be 94.5%. So now we will discuss about the AstraZeneca or Oxford vaccine. It is a viral vector based vaccine. And the viral vector used here is adenovirus. Why we are using adenovirus as a carrier? Because adenovirus is almost inert to human beings. It never causes a flu-like illness in us, and plus we have genetically engineered the genetic material of this virus. We deleted the particular portion of the DNA that is responsible for replication of this virus and being replaced it with some genetically engineered code. So when we inject this virus carrying the mRNA, carrying the genetically modified DNA into human beings, it enters into the cells and this genetic material is being released into the nucleus of the cell, and it DNA, it replicates into mRNA, and the mRNA is as transient carrier of information. They decodes this information via ribosomes to form particular S proteins, that is spike proteins, and these spike proteins elicites via MHC1 and MHC2 receptors. They elicit via MHC2 receptors, they proliferate, they lead to the proliferation of the plasma cells and then the B cells, and they form the antibodies to kill the virus. And via MHC1 they stimulate the cytotoxic cells and release of inflammatory cytokines that directly stimulate some molecules that directly kill the cells. So in this way, this replication deficit chimpanzee adenovirus act as a carrier or vector. So in the Oxford vaccine trials, 3 different trials are being conducted. So the 3 different subgroups were Brazil subgroup, UK subgroup and the USA subgroup. So in these trials, what were given, the first dose was given at 0 day and the second dose was given 28 days after, and 14 days after the second dose, the patients were observed for infections, whether they tested positive for RT-PCR or not. So in the Brazil subgroup, what they did, there were total 9,000 participants, and the participants were given first dose as the full dose, and the second dose was also given as full dose, and the efficacy was found to be around 62%. In the UK subgroup, there were 3,000 participants and they accidentally given the first dose as half dose and the second dose was given a full dose, and what they found surprisingly, the efficacy was around 90%. And while combining the results of the Brazil and the UK trials, there were total 12,000 patients and efficacy was found to be around 70% in prevention of mild to moderate disease. While for the prevention of severe disease, the efficacy was found to be around 100%. In the USA trial, half to full dose was given as first dose, and the second dose was given full dose. The study was temporarily on hold, and now it's being continued. So we are waiting for the results. The storage temperature of these vaccines is 2 to 8 degrees Celsius. That they don't need any special refrigeration. They can be stored under regular refrigeration. That increases its cost effectiveness. So now we will discuss another vaccine, Johnson's and Johnson, that is Janssen's vaccine. It is approved by FDA under emergency use approval. Specialty of this vaccine, it is given as a single dose only. It is a single dose vaccines, and the patients are observed for the primary and outcomes 28 days thereafter. And SAMBLE trial, which enrolls around 43,000 patients. It is a randomized double-blind placebo-controlled phase 3 to assess safety and efficacy of vaccine. It is also a recombinant vector adenovirus vaccines that deliver the genetic code for spike protein of virus similar to AstraZeneca or Oxford vaccine. The storage temperature for this vaccine is minus 20 degrees Celsius. It can be stored up to 2 years, while at 2 to 8 degrees Celsius it can be stored up to 3 months. So it is usually stored at 2 to 8 degrees Celsius. So it do not need any special refrigeration. So here is the comparative evaluation of all vaccines. It is Pfizer, BioNTech, Moderna, AstraZeneca, Johnson & Johnson vaccines. So first we will discuss about the type of the vaccine. That is mRNA based vaccines, and AstraZeneca, Johnson's, they both are viral vector based vaccines. Pfizer, Moderna and AstraZeneca, all they have been given as double doses, while Johnson & Johnson it is given as single dose. The storage temperature is minus 60 to minus 80 degrees Celsius for Pfizer, BioNTech, and for Moderna vaccine it can be stored like for 4 months at minus 20 degrees Celsius, but at 2 to 8 degrees Celsius it can be stored and to be used within 6 hours once thawed. AstraZeneca vaccine, it is stored at 2 to 8 degrees Celsius. Johnson & Johnson 2 to 8 degrees Celsius. The comparative efficacy of these vaccines, 95% in case of Pfizer, BioNTech, Moderna 94.5%, AstraZeneca 72.4%, and the Johnson & Johnson vaccines, it is being conducted in these era of emerging new variants. So it has been tested in 3 different countries. In US it was found to be 66%. In Latin America, it was found to be 72%. In South Africa, where there is a prevalence of new South African variant, it was found to be 57%. And the endpoint were in Pfizer and Moderna vaccine, they were any kind of symptoms, mild, moderate, or severe. While in AstraZeneca, we observed the participants only for the infection, not for any symptoms. Whether they tested by infection, we mean the participants, they were tested positive for RT-PCR while they did not have any symptoms. While the disease means the patient had symptoms. Johnson & Johnson vaccines, we observed the patients or the participants only for the mild symptoms. So the Covishield vaccine, it is the Indian version of Oxford or AstraZeneca vaccines. It was developed by Serum Institute of India in cooperation with ICMR. It is a ChAd-OX1 novel coronavirus 19 vaccine, that is recombinant vaccine. Type of vaccine is AZD1222. It can be given to all individuals of 18 years and above. 2 doses, 0.5 ml each, 4 weeks apart, given intramuscularly. And the storage temperature for this vaccine is 2 to 8 degrees Celsius. And once the vial open, it should be consumed within 6 hours. And the protective efficacy is around 70 to 70.4%. Duration and level of protection, no concrete data so far. The Covishield vaccine, the studies for the Covishield vaccine, they are under phase 3 trials. Around 20,000 participants are there. One is placebo group and one is vaccine group. In the placebo group, only NS is given. In vaccine group, 10,000 patients are given. So these studies, the phase 3 studies are under trial. So Covaxin, it is the only 100% indigenous vaccine that is developed in India. It is developed by Bharat Biotech BSL-3 facility in cooperation with ICMR and National Institute of Virology. It is BB152 whole virion inactivated SARS-CoV-2 vaccine, and the strain is NIV 2020-770. The strength of vaccine is 6 microgram of antigen per 0.5 ml dose. It can be given to individuals above 18 years of age. 0.5 ml, 2 doses administered at interval of 4 weeks by a intramuscular route. The storage temperature is 2 to 8 degrees Celsius and duration and level of protection not quantified yet. This vaccine is also under phase 3 trials, so results are still going on. There are around 25,800 participants for this vaccine. And the primary end outcome is to be observed at 0 day. First dose is given at 0 days, second dose is given at 28 days, and the participants are observed 14 days after the second dose. For any symptoms. Now going back to fact versus truth and clearing the doubts about the different COVID-19 vaccines. First is about the side effects of different COVID-19 vaccines. The side effects of different COVID-19 vaccines, they are not different from any other flu vaccines. They are ranging from mild symptoms of headache, nausea, vomiting, abdominal pain, myalgia, or local induration at the injection site. They are just minimal side effects. We need not to worry about these side effects and omit the vaccine. Second is about emerging new strains versus status of efficacy of these existing vaccines. The current vaccines which are in use, they are found to be effective. Although the trials are going on, it's an ever changing topic. So trials are going on, but still what they say, the S protein, the spike protein antigen, it is a very heavy molecule consisting of 1273 amino acids. So in the new strains, only 2 to 3 amino acid sequences have been changed. So that does not change the virus so much that it will elope the immune response of the body. So as per current recommendation or as per current studies, it is found to be, these vaccines are found to be effective against the new emerging strains also. And the role of vaccination in prevention of transmission or spread of infection. There is absolutely no role of these vaccination in prevention or spread of the infection. Participants or the patients or the post-vaccinated individuals, they will get the infection. So they should not stop the hand hygiene precautions and the mask wearing and all. They should take all these precautions because it does not prevent the spread of infection at all. Which one is superior to which? The most frequently asked question, which vaccine to get. So whatever is available to you, go get it. There is no comparison between different vaccines. Although the Indian vaccines, the Covaxin and Covishield, they are under phase 3 trials. The AstraZeneca vaccine, the USA trial results still has to come out. So these all vaccines are under trials. So and they are found to be effective. So we need not to go on the efficacy of this particular vaccine and that particular vaccines. They are found to be effective, and whichever is available, go get it. Interchangeability of vaccine. Interchangeability of vaccine is not allowed at all. If you get the first dose of Oxford vaccine, you have to get the second dose of the same vaccine. Interchangeability is not permitted. And the safety in pregnancy or lactating mothers. As far the study is concerned, no vaccine is safe for the pregnant or the lactating mothers. And thank you.